Roll number 34.
Yes, sir.
Please read the biodata.
Okay, sir. Good morning, all of you. UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Program डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर मराठवाडा युनिव्हर्सिटी द्वारा आयोजित 13 फॅकल्टी इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम या निमित्त आपण सर्व आभासी पद्धतीने जमलो आहोत. प्रथम आज आपल्या सकाळच्या सत्रामध्ये व्याख्यानमालेला लाभलेल्या डॉक्टर अभिलाषा मिश्रा मॅडम यांचे मी प्रथम स्वागत करते. डॉक्टर अभिलाषा मिश्रा मॅडम सध्या महाराष्ट्र इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नॉलॉजी छत्रपती संभाजीनगर येथे R&D आणि इनोव्हेशन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक संगणक अभियांत्रिकी सहयोगी प्राध्यापिका आहेत. त्यांनी छत्रपती संभाजीनगरच्या शासकीय अभियांत्रिकी महाविद्यालयातून PG पदवी पूर्ण केली आहे आणि मोबाईल मायक्रोस्ट्रिप अँटेना डिझाईन मध्ये उत्तर महाराष्ट्र विद्यापीठ जळगाव येथून PhD पदवी प्राप्त केली आहे. मॅडमनी विविध राष्ट्रीय आणि आंतरराष्ट्रीय जर्नल्स मध्ये असंख्य शोध प्रकाशित केले आहेत. मायक्रोस्ट्रिप अँटेना डिझाईन, EMI आणि EMC, आर्टिफिशियल न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स, इमेज प्रोसेसिंग आणि रिपोर्ट सेन्सिंग ही त्यांच्या संशोधनाची आवड आहे. त्यांच्याकडे 4 पेटंट सुद्धा आहेत. डॉक्टर अभिलाषा मॅडम या वरिष्ठ
Madam, unmute yourself.
ओके मॅम, आवाज येत आहे?
Yes, madam. Please continue.
ओके, थँक्यू मॅम. मॅडमनी विविध राष्ट्रीय आणि आंतरराष्ट्रीय जर्नल्स मध्ये असंख्य शोध निबंध प्रकाशित केले आहेत. मायक्रोस्ट्रिप अँटेना डिझाईन, EMI आणि EMC, आर्टिफिशियल न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स, इमेज प्रोसेसिंग आणि रिमोट सेन्सिंग ही त्यांच्या संशोधनाची आवड आहे. त्यांच्याकडे 4 पेटंट देखील आहेत. डॉक्टर अभिलाषा मॅडम या वरिष्ठ IEEE सदस्य आणि RETE फेलो सदस्य देखील आहेत. त्यांनी ENTC अभियांत्रिकी विभागाच्या माजी प्रमुख म्हणूनही काम केले आहे. सध्या त्या IIT बॉम्बेच्या मराठवाडा विभागाच्या व्हर्च्युअल लॅब प्रादेशिक समन्वयक म्हणून कार्यरत आहे. अँटेना संशोधन आणि मराठवाडा प्रदेशात अँटेना तंत्रज्ञानाविषयी जागरूकता निर्माण करण्यासाठी त्यांनी राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार त्यांना मिळाला आहे. IETE प्रोफेसर S.N. मिश्रा मेमोरियल अवॉर्ड 2013 त्यांना मिळाला आहे. डॉक्टर मिश्रा मॅडम यांनी IEEE इंडियन अँटेना वीक 2013 आणि IEEE अप्लाइड इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक कॉन्फरन्स AEMC 2017 यासारख्या विविध आंतरराष्ट्रीय परिषदा देखील आयोजित केल्या आहेत. त्यांनी IEEE इन कॅप डिसेंबर 2018 हैदराबाद साठी WIE चेअरपर्सन म्हणूनही काम केले आहे. यावर्षी त्यांना MIT मध्ये शिकवल्याबद्दल कौतुक मिळाले आहे. धन्यवाद मॅडम.
ओके मॅम. हॅलो.
हा सर.
ओके, थँक्यू मॅम.
ओके ओके, थँक्यू.
Yes, Mishra, please start.
Yes. Just a minute. Screen is visible?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you, ma'am, for such a brief introduction.
Thank you, ma'am.
How many participants are there?
33, I think.
Okay, okay. So first of all, I would like to welcome everyone on this session, and I'm thankful to Patil sir and the organizing committee for giving me an opportunity to have some discussion with you. I am also a teacher, a faculty at MIT, which is an autonomous institute, and currently working as Dean R&D and Innovation. So today I am going to talk about the critical role of research articles in advancing scientific knowledge. So what we need exactly for writing a research article, what is the importance of that research article for a faculty member? So for this, we will be having agenda like this. So first we will see importance of research to the faculty. Many faculties, they don't know why should I go for research being a faculty member. Because up till now, what we have studied is that being a faculty, our role is just to teach the subject. So it is not like that. You have to think globally as the computers, IT domain, AI, machine learning, everything is available in a single click. So students are very smart and they are having gist to learn many things. So to make ourselves a compatible one to address the student audience, we need to have good academic and research knowledge. So after that, we will be seeing what exactly the definition of research, how to begin for research. And once you decide that I need to go ahead with some research topic, then what is the meaning of research to the faculty? How many types of research articles we come across? And in the beginning, when you start your research, which type of article you need to address first, and gradually you can move ahead with some other type of articles. Original research and its types we will see later on. Then formulating research questions. So first, when you start the research work, what we should aim to start the work. So it's nothing but the formulating the questionnaire, which will give you clarity about your research. Then objectives of the research need to be found out. And once the objective is finalized, we need to think about, based on the objectives, we need to think about the research methodology. So which research methodology we need to go ahead? Then what is the scientific paper and how to write it is again a difficult task for many faculties. Even though I have written many papers, I have some patents with my research scholars as well, but still I am in learning process. Being a faculty, we keep on learning. So now after that, I will be sharing some experiences of my research scholars, how to write paper, how to think, or how to scrutinize your paper so that you can submit it into the journal or to conference. What are the topics you have considered? What are the points you have added into that article? How to present the paper, means how to write the paper. So many things, and once the paper is submitted, either to the journal or to the conference, after the submission, it goes the academic review process. So it is also called as peer reviewed. So reviewers are there, they review your paper, and then it has been, hello, is there any problem? And if there is some problem or some points which have not been addressed properly by the author, then reviewers are free to ask these questions and how to address that questions. So this is the experience of my research scholars, those who worked under me. So I hope today's discussion will give you a brief idea about the importance of the research, how to begin with for the research, how many types of research papers we come across, then how to formulate the problem statement, and out of that problem statement, what can be the objective and which research methodology you need to adopt, and then how to write a paper. And after writing and submission of the paper, what are the queries you are getting from the reviewers and how to address these queries. So initially, being a faculty, you are a professional, right? But at the same time, you are having a passion for teaching. So being a faculty, what is the importance of research? So definitely, if you go for the research, so advancement of knowledge will be there. It will give you a professional development of your personality. When you come across the new topics, new research, so naturally it is going to enhance your teaching capabilities. It will give you an honor in the society, reputation and recognition at the institute level, at the city level, at the state level, at the India level, country level. Once you start writing a research projects, you will be getting the grants. So many grant opportunities you can find if you are having a good concept. You can write a grant proposal, DST, SCRB, ISRO, DRDO, there are so many government agencies, they are providing the grants for the research projects. So if you have passion, you can write you can think about a good research proposal, you can write it, so you will be getting a grant opportunities. And till your study, till your education, it was your own performance. But after that, being a faculty, being a researcher, you have to explore or you have to connect with the research community. So there will be a collaborative opportunities as well. You should not concentrate on your own development. Rather than that, at the same time, you should think about how to get connect with the people, how to get connect with the community, so that there will be a collaborative opportunities to you. You can work with many researchers at a time, and you just think if you are applying your single brain to one task, and if you are applying 2-3 more brains to a single task, so naturally when you are working in a collaborative environment, so the work is always up to the mark. That will also create an impact on policy and practice. If you come up with some copyright from your research articles, if you come up with some good research papers, either journal papers or your conference papers, if you are having some patent ideas, so you can have some new kind of policies and practices that can be developed. And as you are too knowledgeable, you know the new topics, emerging technologies, then student engagement through you will be more. Student will like the guidance from you. So they will have more connect with the faculty like you. And naturally with teaching, not only teaching, if you work as a researcher, if you have the collaborative opportunities, if you write a research proposal, if you have the grant sanctioned either through any of the government agencies or foreign agencies, so naturally your tenure will be secured in any institute and you will be getting the promotion as well. And naturally, it will be a prestige for the institution as well. So this is the importance of research to the faculty. So always you should have a passion for the teaching as a faculty, but at the same time, you need to think about the research. So what is the definition of a research? Research is a systematic process of inquiry aimed at discovering, interpreting, and increasing knowledge in particular field. Now, how to begin with this? So first of all, I think I have addressed all these points. Why should I write a research paper? Why should I publish the paper? How should I start? Where should I start? So these are the questions even I also faced initially in my career. Who is going to guide me? Who will tell me why the paper is important to write? Okay, I'm enough about the research topic. I have selected the research topic. I'm working on it. I'm writing. But who can guide me? Naturally, your guide is there. But at the same time, sometimes we have some questions which we are not able to discuss with our guide. And guide is also expecting that you should know the basic things. So that's why I have selected this topic to have the discussion with you. So now what is research? Research is a method of searching for facts in any branch of knowledge. Whether you belong to science, whether you belong to engineering, whether you belong to commerce, whether you belong to arts, language, whatever may be the topic is. So method of searching for facts. Like if you want to write some research on Shivaji Maharaj, then also you need to have the knowledge base for that. It represents an attitude of inquiry, how you proceed for the inquiry, depending upon your interest area, depending upon the title of the research, how you decide. So that attitude matters a lot for the inquiry. An attempt to elicit facts and figures. Like if you want to work for the Shivaji Maharaj, you need to work on the old literature which is available in libraries. You can go ahead with the how he has worked, how was the strategy he has finalized, how he has implemented the strategies for the opponents. And it may happen that while studying, you may come across some different kind of inclination of Shivaji Maharaj. So that is also a research. If you are from the scientific background, like just think about that. It's a very good example which I used to give to my students as well. Face recognition system. Now, what is face recognition system? I know many of you might be from science or engineering, but at least you know that nowadays in offices there is face recognition system or thumb recognition system. You have to put your thumb, that ridges, the pattern which is available as the lines on your thumb. You put on that space where that light is there, and then your ridges, the information is extracted from that scanning. Now, what is face recognition system? Just have a thought about this. Suppose I have 5 students and my lab is the research lab and I want only 2 of them to get entry into the lab. So always I'm not available in the lab, but I want two of them to use this lab, to work in this lab 24/7. So what I will do, I will put either the thumb recognition system or face recognition system. Now, in that face recognition system, how the machine will understand this is person A, this is person B, this is person C, D, and E. Suppose I want the person A and person E to get the recognized from the machine. Machine doesn't have brain. I have to train that machine. So how I will proceed? Now, what will be my thinking process? मैं कैसे सोचूंगी? I know that for every human being, 2 ears are there, one nose which is having two nostrils, two eyes, one forehead, some pattern of hairstyle, some shape of my face, might be pentagonal, might be oval, might be circular. आपण म्हणतो ना गोल चेहऱ्याचा आहे तो माणूस तसं. Then I have to provide. So I have taken the images. Now the data has been extracted from these images. Shape of earlobes, shape of nostril, shape of nose, distance of forehead vertically and horizontally. So each face has been converted into data. Are you getting this? I want response from you. Are you getting it? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So every image means every person, his face, then it has been converted into image. Then means image has been taken, photo has been taken, that is called as image. From that image, the data has been extracted. अब किसी की नाक लंबी है, किसी की चौड़ी है, तो डिस्टेंस उतना होगा, पतली है तो कम होगा. मतलब हर फेस का एक आपके पास में डेटाबेस हो गया. So when that person A, or let us assume that I have saved the data for a student name A to E. Now that student has came into my research lab. He want to get entry. He want to open the lock of that research lab. So he will keep his face in front of the camera or in front of the system which I have developed. What that camera will do? That camera will capture the image of that person. Suppose that student B has come in front of that camera. Now that machine has taken the image of B, but I have set my machine to identify only student A and E, nor B, nor C, nor D. So B, C, D, these students are not allowed. Now, once he come in front of the camera, student B, the camera will take the picture. Now I have developed the system. That picture will convert. That picture will be getting converted into the database. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि ईयर लोब, कानों की लंबाई कितनी, चौड़ाई कितनी, माथे की हाइट कितनी है, चौड़ाई कितनी है, आंखों का शेप कैसा है, नाक का शेप कैसा है. तो अब एक फेस का कितना सारा डेटाबेस हो गया. Now the machine, what machine will do? That machine has extracted the database from the student B. Now already A and E, these databases are already stored. The machine will compare the database of student B from the saved data. A और E का जो हमने save करके रखा है उसको देखेंगे. And that system will find that there is no similarity between the two database which has been saved. So what will be the outcome of that? This is not the student to get in. So lock will be closed. It will not get open. But instead of B, if suppose A comes, what happens to that? Student A will come again in front of the camera. Camera will click a picture. That picture will get converted into data. And that data will be compared with the database already shared into the machine. And then that machine will identify, oh, it's the student A. So this database is matched with the database which is already stored, which is student A. So immediately it will say that you can enter into the lab and the digital lock will get open. This is how the system is getting developed. Earlier, if you think the past 60, 70, 80 years ago, was this system available? No. This is the effort of human thinking, which has led to the advancement of such kind of systems. Now, we are coming across one more advanced system, IoT, Internet of Things. What is it? Nowadays, life is very fast. I just rushed to the college and I forgot whether that TV was on or off. So by sitting in my institute, in my cabin, I will see what exactly the status of TV. And by sitting at my place, long distance away from my home, I can control the operation of that TV. What is it? This is the outcome of a research. This is the outcome of the human brain. So there is no limitation for the research. आपने देखा होगा पहले एक स्टिक हुआ करती थी ब्लाइंड पर्सन के लिए, isn't it? क्या करती थी वो स्टिक? Only to support that person so that he should not get fall. And with that, by putting stick at 2-3 places at randomly, he will come to understand whether the next step he is having the good platform, same platform without any obstacles. And once he find that there is obstacle, कुछ ऊंचाई पे कुछ उसको लग रहा है stick को, then that person will try to imagine, because he is blind, which kind of shape it might have. Then वो उसके बाजू से निकल जाएगा. That was the natural training either given by somebody to the blind person, or they are getting trained with their experiences. But now that stick, due to the research, that stick has become the smart stick. How the smart stick? That has been incorporated Alexa into that. If suppose some obstacle is there after 2-3 feet, that Alexa will sound, there is an obstacle, you have to take little left, you shift yourself to left, either you shift yourself to right, you can move ahead for 1 meter, there is no obstacles, right? If there is a water, some sensors will be there, buzzer will be there. Suppose some fire is there nearby that blind person, so sensor will sense that, and there will be a buzzer. Now there will be a change of different buzzing sound, so that blind person will come to know that, oh, it's some fire is there nearby my place, I need to be move more safely. Nobody is there, no human interaction with that blind person, but technology is supporting to that blind person. What is this? This is research. This is the strength of research. This is the power of research. So a state of mind, it requires the involvement of entire mind. How, whatever the technology I am learning, how I can help that technology to help the society. Like I'm working in image processing as well. Remote sensing is there. What we have done with my research scholar. Satellite images are scanning some area, and from there, lunar crater, and there we are identifying the minerals. So we have designed the system through image only. What is remote sensing? Remotely, the image has been taken by the satellite, That satellite is sending that image on Earth. I'm receiving that, and again on that image, just like face recognition system, just like thumb recognition system, I have adopted or I have used some technology on the image of the lunar crater to identify the area of the lunar crater, to identify the minerals which are available in the soil of the lunar crater. So once, now see that I am having the some soil of lunar crater. So physically, I have tested it in the lab. How many types of minerals are there? And one technology which I have developed through remote sensing, through images, I am capturing the data, and from that data, I am analyzing and I am finding the some options that it is having some minerals. Now, these minerals have been validated because this is just the technology which I am using. But lab testing of that soil is giving the exact experimental results. So I am validating the data which I am getting through the software system which I have developed for identifying the minerals. Now, what is the strength of this work? That whatever I have developed, as it is lab tested, so that technology can be utilized to find any kind of meteorite you are finding across the world, where we are not able to go there and to perform the research on that meteor, but I can do by sitting at my own place, because the system which I have developed is nothing but foolproof system. It is validated from the experimentation, so I can rely on that system. So acquirement of knowledge is continuous process in human life. So research is never ending and ever enlarging systematic process. You think, you can. This is what the research is. The boundaries of research are always open and enlarging, but the results and conclusions are confined and scientifically proven. Now, coming to the next, types of research papers and articles. So what are the types of research papers we come across? One is original research paper, review article, case study, methodology study, opinion article, and short report. So these are the 6 types of research articles we come across. Now, concentrating on the first type, that is original research. Now, what is original research? In that, exploratory research is there, constructive research, controlled experiments, field research, natural study, and cohort study. So what exactly the exploratory research? So exploratory studies involve a kind of thought experiment and of funding and the time and technology to actually travel to other planets. A physicist might propose a new method to find other planets that would support life beyond Earth. You are exploring the research. You are thinking how, without visiting the next planet as a physicist, how I can see what is going on that planet so that I can guide the human being available on Earth. This is what that kind of exploratory research. Now, constructive research. First, you see the example. If a computer scientist creates some new kind of algorithm and tests it to show us that it is demonstrating constructive research. Like I said, I have developed one algorithm based on the image, and I am identifying some minerals without going to that. So it is a constructive research. A person undergoing constructive research builds something that will lead to new information and knowledge and solve a real life problem. So that is what a constructive research is. Now, controlled experiments. Let us have example of medical side. A medical researcher might use this type of study to determine how a virus responds to an antiviral drug in the development. It is a controlled experiment. Recently, our community, human community, faced COVID, not human, every living being on earth faced this COVID. And the researchers were doing research to find out the solution to control this virus so that it cannot have do any damage into human body. So that, but directly that drug is not given to the human being. So it has to go through some experiments. So which kind of experiments these are? These are controlled experiments. You have one research lab, it is controlled, nobody is allowed there. There is a systematic and strategic planning to perform the experiment. So this type of research is usually conducted in a lab under controlled condition. Now the next type is field research. First, you see the example. Study on the effects of pesticide on plants. So some plants we are keeping it outside, means in the garden, some are inside the house. How the effect of pesticides we can observe on the development of the plants. It is a field research. A researcher could compare the plants exposed to the pesticides with a plant without pesticide exposure. So two types of plant categories have been considered here for the research. One section of the plant is pure, only water treatment is there, and other is with pesticide. So what are the nutrients modifications we can observe in that? What are the changes we can observe which will harm the human being? That is nothing but the field research. So what we call an experiment in which some aspects can be controlled is an example of field research. We cannot control all the aspects, but some of them can be controlled. Now, natural study. What is natural study? Under a natural experiment, a researcher takes a purely observational role and has little to no control over the factors involved. Like we know that in municipal corporation schools, the government is providing food. So that experiment can be performed because free lunch program piloted in multiple schools over a period of time. So you can have some kind of analysis, how that these psychological effects to the students' development, are they getting nutrition? So such kind of natural study, under a natural experiment, a researcher takes a purely observational role and has little to no control over the factors involved. Now, cohort study. It is nothing but the observational study, in which researchers follow a group of individuals over time and observe common characteristics. Like, if suppose we know that smoking is dangerous for human being. So if I want to see how the lung is getting affected due to smoking, so some students or some human beings have been considered in two categories, one smoking and those who are not smoking. Now, gradually, the performance of lungs can be seen. The X-rays of lungs can be taken. The sonography and other tests can be done. And gradually, what are the effects we are observing if a group of people are doing smoking continuously? Again, if some are doing less smoking, then if again we can categorize less smoking, more smoking, and higher smoking in three categories. So what are the effects, bad effects on lung which has been observed? So that can be analyzed. So this type of study is nothing but the cohort study. Again, like lung cancer in group of individuals who are again having certain characteristics. What are the characteristics if a lung of a person is suffering from cancer? So based on that research, then some medicine is developed so that the lung can be protected from the cancer, or the virus of the cancer can be killed out from that medicine. So this is what research is, and this type of research for observational one is called as cohort study. Now, formulating research question is the basic task of a researcher. Now, many of you will think, कशात करायचं रिसर्च? मला तर कळत नाही, काय करायचं, कोणत्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये करू, कोणता टॉपिक मी सिलेक्ट करू. So first, you introspect yourself. Which topic, which subject do you like the most? Like the example which I had given you, image processing. आप थंब रिकॉग्निशन कर रहे हैं, आप फेस रिकॉग्निशन कर रहे हैं, या आप लोनार क्रेटर का रिमोट सेंसिंग के थ्रू कुछ मिनरल्स आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं. प्रोसेस इज सेम, ओनली एप्लीकेशंस आर डिफरेंट. समटाइम आई एम thumb recognition to identify the person, face recognition to identify the person, remote sensing technique to identify the minerals through satellite images. Only some technology will get advanced. Some algorithms I need to develop or I need to use, somebody have not used. I need to identify the gap. Now I'm telling you, when we started working on lunar crater, we have identified, we have come across many papers, and these papers are giving the detailed knowledge about the soil testing, about the mineral testing, about the pebbles which we are getting, or meteoroid part testing. But I was not able to find any paper on the remote sensing. So that was the research gap. हर कोई जा रहा है, वहां की मिट्टी ले रहा है, उस पे रिसर्च कर रहा है, कुछ आइडेंटिफाई कर रहा है, उस पे पेपर लिख रहा है, वहां के पत्थरों पे, वहां के पानी पे, वहां के मिट्टी पे, वहां के झाड़ों पे, सभी पे काफी सारे फिजिकल एक्सपेरिमेंट वाले रिसर्च हो चुके हैं, लेकिन रिमोट सेंसिंग का आई डिडंट फाइंड एनी. सो दैट वाज द रिसर्च गैप आई हैड आइडेंटिफाइड कि अरे इस पे तो किसी ने काम नहीं किया. So let's start working on that. So that was the title I have selected. So subject was, I'm interested in image processing. Image processing के application किस domain में है? I have to identify which domain I like, or I can go ahead with my own knowledge. So that I have identified कि lunar crater पे तो मेरे को research gap lunar crater के इस पे identify हुई. And then I have decided that I will work on remote identification of minerals by the remote sensing of lunar crater. The same way you need to introspect yourself. आपको कौन सा सब्जेक्ट अच्छा लगता है, आपको उसमें कौन सा टॉपिक ज्यादा पसंद है, उस टॉपिक पे अभी तक कितना और क्या क्या रिसर्च हुआ है, उस रिसर्च के क्या क्या एप्लीकेशंस है, उन एप्लीकेशंस में से आपको कौन से एप्लीकेशन में इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है. So you see this funnel shape. Are you able to see this funnel shape? Hello? Are you able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
see this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
See this
Yes, yes.
funnel shape. What does it indicate? आपको ब्रॉडली आपने क्या किया, सपोज आप साइंस ग्रेजुएट है, आपके पास में हर ईयर में सपोज 8 से 10 सब्जेक्ट आप पढ़ते हैं, तो इफ आई काउंट, सो 30 सब्जेक्ट्स का नॉलेज है आपके पास में. 30 सब्जेक्ट्स के नॉलेज में से आपने एक आपका ओन इंटरेस्ट वाला सब्जेक्ट आइडेंटिफाई किया. वो सब्जेक्ट मतलब आप क्या हो गया, यू हैव नैरो डाउन योर थिंकिंग, मतलब आप फोकस कर रहे हो धीरे धीरे. सो व्हाट दिस फनल शेप इज टेलिंग यू, you have to have the focus on the topic to identify it. 30 सब्जेक्ट में से एक सब्जेक्ट आपने आइडेंटिफाई किया, एक सब्जेक्ट के मेनी एप्लीकेशंस आपने फाइंड आउट किए, मेनी एप्लीकेशंस में से यू कम अक्रॉस वन एप्लीकेशन विच सूट्स यू मोर टू गो अहेड एज अ रिसर्च टॉपिक. अब आपको क्या मिल गया, एक टॉपिक मिल गया, यू गॉट द टॉपिक. Then उस टॉपिक पे अभी तक क्या क्या रिसर्च हुआ है, यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट. So you have narrowed down through preliminary research, and again you have crossed one level ahead to focus your research. Based on the research work of different authors, you can have some questionnaire, and based on that question, जैसे मैंने बोला कि मैंने लोनार क्रिएटर पे काम क्यों किया, because image processing was my interest subject. I teach it to my students, and I really get very much happiness while teaching to the students. So it was final. Okay, I need to go ahead for this particular subject. I am an engineering graduate. So if I consider 10 subjects, हमारे समय में तो IPT वगैरह ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं था. 10 subjects each year. So we have studied 40 subjects. Out of that 40, I was more interested in image processing. Image processing के कितने सारे application है, face recognition, thumb recognition, even retina recognition, so many types. Out of that, I have identified कि उसमें और क्या क्या applications पे लोगों ने काम किया है. Then I came across the Lonar crater. Lonar crater पे लोगों ने क्या काम किया? तो देन आई केम टू नो दैट कि लोनार क्रेटर पे लोगों ने सिर्फ एक्सपेरिमेंटल बेस्ड काम किया, कोई मॉडल डेवलपमेंट नहीं किया, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट नहीं किया ताकि हम उसको अप्लाई कर सके. सो नेक्स्ट थॉट वाज हाउ आई कैन डू दैट. आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड द रिसर्च गैप इन माय वर्क, एंड देन आई हैव जनरेटेड द रिसर्च क्वेश्चन कि मुझे इमेज कैसे मिलेगी. देन आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड I can get the images from the remote satellite. For that, I need to get the permission of the government. I have asked the government to send me the some images taken from some important satellites. Sometimes government is not ready to share some data which is confidential for the security of the nation. But if you share honestly, if you go ahead honestly, ethically, then sometimes it is possible that you can get the information. Some satellites are there where we are getting images freely downloadable. But again, there are some restrictions because all the parameters which is required for my research is not available in that images. So I need to have it from the government. So this is how you are focusing from broad spectrum till this last level. Now your research topic has been finalized. You can go ahead with this. It should be original. It should not be copy paste, right? It should be relevant. Means it should be usable to the society, to some devices, to some algorithms, whatever you want to go at. Case study हो, cohort study हो, आपकी कोई किसी भी तरीके की study हो, it should be relevant, and it should be complex and arguable. You should also be able to argue. Like if somebody asks me what you have done in Lonar crater identification, I'm ready to do the arguments. And at the same time, I'm ready to accept the arguments from opposite side, from the audience, from the researchers, from the authors. They can argue me, madam, आपने ये काम कैसे किया? कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हुई है? क्या किया है? So it should be arguable. If I have used one technology, other researcher can think it to use some other technology, right? So it is researchable. Then naturally it's a research work, so it should be focused. It should be specific. So this is nothing but the characteristic of a strong research questions. How to formulate research questions? I think already I have explained you in detail. So start with a broad topic. It's also wise to consider the interest being addressed recently.
Ma'am, your PPT is not visible.
Not visible. 1 minute. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
मुझे लगता है ऑलरेडी हमने ये काफी कुछ किया है. Then still we will read this. Start with a broad topic. Already we have done. Do preliminary research to learn about topical issues. Narrow down your topic and determine potential research questions. So these three words, potential research questions. So you have identified through this funnel. So you have come to the potential research questions, right? So formulating research aim of research questions or aim of your research is again evaluate the soundness of your research questions. It should be feasible, it should be interesting, some novel idea you should be able to generate. You need to have ethical working. See, as a elderly person, I can tell you that always you need to work in ethical way. No cheating at all, neither in your action, neither in your words, nor neither while you write something, paper or article, right? So nobody can challenge you if you work ethically everywhere, right? So whatever you are working, it should be having the feasibility, it should be more interesting. You should come up with some novel technology, some novel idea. और लाइक मैंने लोनार गेटर पे काम किया, राइट? लोनार गेटर पे बहुतों ने काम किया. So it was not novel idea, but the technology which I have applied it, nobody has initiated for that. So it's a novel idea, right? So this is how you can think. Everybody cannot be Einstein. Everybody cannot be Newton. So what we are doing, research is not such a big thing that you can't do it. You can do it. You believe in yourself, believe in your knowledge, believe in your actions. Think the way I have told you. I have shared shared with you my experience of research. Gradually you can also move ahead and you can come to the conclusion, yes ma'am, I want to work in this research area, and that work should be relevant. So naturally जब आप इतना पढ़ोगे, आप रिव्यू करोगे आर्टिकल्स, आप आपके नोट्स बनाओगे, तब आपको समझ में आएगा कि आपको करना क्या है, कैसे करना है, आपका टॉपिक, आपके टॉपिक में कितना इंटरेस्ट आपको आ रहा है, ये खुद आपको समझ में आएगा. आपने कौन सी नॉवेल आइडिया, हाउ द नॉवेल आइडिया कैन बी अप्लाइड. नॉवेल आइडिया आपको अप्लाई करना तब पॉसिबल होता है जब आप रिसर्च गैप आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, जैसे मैंने किया. लोनार क्रेटर पे बहुत लोगों ने काम किया, लेकिन मैंने सोचा कि क्या मैं एक ऐसी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर सकती हूँ या बना सकती हूँ या डेवलप कर सकती हूँ जो दूर से बिना लोनार में जाए, लोनार क्रेटर के पास में जाए बिना मुझे बताए कि वहां पर कितने मिनरल्स हैं. सो दैट वाज अ नोवेल आइडिया. टेक्नोलॉजी इज ऑलवेज देयर टू सपोर्ट यू. आपका आइडिया अच्छा होना चाहिए, राइट? I just share one experience with you. एक्चुअली इंडियन पेटेंट में मैंने एक पेटेंट अप्लाई किया था इन 2013. So I will discuss this with in Hindi. So मेरे यहाँ एक फंक्शन था और उस फंक्शन में बहुत अमरावती के पास में एक कोई गांव है छोटा, तो मेरी मदर इन लॉ के रिलेटिव आए थे वहां से, और शी इज महाराष्ट्रियन। तो वो लोग भी महाराष्ट्रियन हैं और वो बहुत मतलब हिंदी उतनी अच्छी नहीं बोल पा रहे थे, और मराठी भी थोड़ी गांव की हिसाब की थी उनकी मराठी। तो जब मैंने और मेरे हस्बैंड ने उनको ड्रॉप किया बस पे, तो मुझे उनको देख के बहुत तकलीफ हुई। मैंने कहा, क्योंकि अमरावती उस समय तो ये समृद्धि महामार्ग वगैरह कुछ नहीं बना था, तो हम उनको छोड़ने जैसे बस ही एक थी, रात की बस जाती थी जो नागपुर तक जाती है, तो रास्ते में जो अमरावती पड़ता तो लोग उतर जाते हैं, और ये टाइम होता है रात का 2 बजे से 3 बजे के बीच में, एंड दिस टाइम इज मतलब आपकी सबसे गहरी नींद इसी पीरियड में रहती है। तो मुझे वो देख के अच्छा नहीं लगा। मैंने कहा, इतने बूढ़े लोग ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं और इनको कोई गाइडेंस नहीं है, और अटेंडेंट भी इस उनका रोज का ही काम है, तो वो चला चलो चलो चलो, उतरने वाले उतर गए, जो नहीं उठ पाए तो वो सीधे नागपुर ही जाके उतरेंगे, तो फिर उनको वापस आना पड़ेगा। तो इट वाज वेरी कम्बरसम फॉर द ट्रैवलर। तो मुझे बहुत तकलीफ हुई। तो मैंने सोचा कि क्या हम ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बना सकते हैं कि हम, अब ये थॉट है, हाँ, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, दिस इज जस्ट अ थॉट। क्या हम ऐसी, आई वॉज ऑल्सो नॉट नोइंग कि आई कैन मेक दैट काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। अब वो थॉट मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा था कि क्या हम ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बना सकते हैं कि कहीं से हमको पता चले कि एक सिस्टम बनाएंगे, वो सिस्टम को बार बार पता चला कि अभी औरंगाबाद से निकले हैं, अभी जालना गए हैं, अभी उसके आगे गए हैं, ये छोटे छोटे गांव आ रहे हैं, अब अमरावती आने को 15 मिनट है। दिमाग में ख्याल आया जीपीएस लोकेशन। हर गांव का एक जीपीएस लोकेशन होता है, तो क्या हम एक ऐसा सिस्टम बना सकते हैं, दैट सिस्टम विल ट्राई टू आइडेंटिफाई। मैंने फीड कर दिया कि अमरावती में उतरना है, तो अमरावती की फिक्स जीपीएस लोकेशन आ गई। अब औरंगाबाद की जीपीएस लोकेशन अलग है, वो कंपेयर हुई अमरावती से, अरे अभी बहुत टाइम है। जालना से, अरे अभी बहुत टाइम है। नाउ जैसे जैसे हमारा डिस्टेंस बढ़ रहा है, जैसे जैसे बस ट्रैवल कर रही है टुवर्ड्स अमरावती, हमारी ट्रैवलिंग स्पीड भी कैलकुलेट करते आ सकती है, वो भी हमने की। उसके बेस पे जब हमें पता चला कि अब जीपीएस लोकेशन हमारा नियर टू अमरावती है, और स्पीड के हिसाब से हम 10 से 15 मिनट में पहुंच जाएंगे, आधे घंटे में, तो बजर हिट होगा मोबाइल में। हेलो, डू यू लाइक द आइडिया? हेलो एवरीवन,
यस मैम।
आपको आइडिया पसंद आया सभी को?
जी मैम जी।
लेकिन आप बताइए, इसमें मैंने कोई, मैं आइंस्टाइन हूँ, मैं न्यूटन हूँ? नहीं। एक छोटी सी सोच, छोटी सी समझ, किसी को हेल्प करने की तड़प ने मुझे ये बनाने के लिए बाध्य किया। सिर्फ मेरा फेल्यूर इसमें है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने इसका पेटेंट अभी 1 साल पहले अप्रूव किया। मैंने ये डिजाइन किया था 2013 में। अगर ये तब अप्रूव हो जाता था तो गूगल भी मेरी टेक्निक को खरीदना पड़ता था। गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? तो आपकी छोटी सी, मतलब फेल्यूर से हमको कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, फेल्यूर से हम सीखते हैं, लेकिन ट्राई टू सी, एक छोटा सा थॉट, किसी को हेल्प करने की ललक ने हमको क्या डेवलप करने के लिए लगाया। तो आपके आसपास ऐसे अनगिनत क्वेश्चंस हैं। आप सोसाइटी में, यू जस्ट लुक इनटू द सोसाइटी, ट्राई टू सी what are the problems people are facing, what are the problems animals are facing, can I help them, can I develop some kind of technology which can address that particular problem? आपके पास जवाब हाँ ही आएगा। थोड़ी तकलीफ होगी, और वो तकलीफ आपकी एज अ रिसर्चर सॉल्व होगी, एंड यू विल बी एबल टू हैव द नोवेल आइडिया, न्यू काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलपमेंट, and you will feel proud about yourself if you have such kind of thinking. Now what are the objectives of the research? अब हमने आइडिया तो पता कर लिया कि हमको कौन से एरिया में आगे बढ़ना है, बट व्हाट विल बी द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ दैट रिसर्च? So based on the process of defining aim of the research, next step, objectives. So aim can be open-ended process and objectives can be close-ended process. Aim आपका vast हो सकता है, खूब बड़ा हो सकता है, लेकिन आपका objective, it should be 2 to 3 lines. So 2 to 3 or 4 research objectives. Try to understand, for achieving single objective, you need to have a good work of research. You have to develop some system. You have to satisfy that objective. So objective should be specific. It should be time bound, quantities and quantitative and qualitative. The process of defining objectives, title of research, it cannot be limited steps. The way I have explained you my own experience will help you to identify all this. Now, literature review. Now, what is literature review? See, once you have identified that you want to work in image processing, right? Now, you have decided that I want to work in face recognition. अब आपको एक आपके गाइड ने कहा कि मुझे आप लिटरेचर सर्वे लिख के दीजिए. What is literature survey? Again, remember that funnel shape. Funnel shape is the crux of your research. How? हेलो हेलो आपका टॉपिक फाइनल है, योर टॉपिक इज फाइनल, योर एरिया इज फाइनल, योर एप्लीकेशन इज फाइनल. Now you start searching literature. You download some books, you download journal papers, you try to see the articles, you try to see the case studies, try to read it, and now make a systematic funnel shape your article. आप जो story बनाने वाले हो, the story of the literature review which you want to write, it should have that funnel shape. How? The broad spectrum, your topic is there. How many researchers have worked on that? Then, like image processing, many researchers have worked. Then face recognition system, thumb recognition system, retina recognition system, many things, cancer recognition system, many things, many researchers. Now you have stepped down to the next level. कि पहले आप सिर्फ इमेज प्रोसेसिंग पे बात कर रहे थे, then you have come up with some techniques developed for different kind of recognitions in image processing. Then you are coming to the face recognition. Now you have identified 50 research papers you have downloaded, including current papers. See, try to understand, whenever you are doing research, current papers are more valuable for you because it shows what is the current technology researchers or authors have developed. You have to do different from them. So that's why it will give you a good inclination that these are the things they have worked on. You need to think something different. So current research articles and the past research articles, you will read it, you will make it, and you will explain in a storyline just like a funnel shape. And then you will focus on your problem statement of face recognition system. Suppose you want to concentrate in face recognition as eye recognition system. So now you are concentrating. With that eye recognition, how many systems other researchers have developed? What are the techniques they have implemented? And what is the research gap you have identified? This is what the literature survey is. Now, how you will come to the conclusion? So you need to read, you need to discuss, you need to make notes. So read the contents collected in step 2 carefully. This is the step 2, read, discuss and make. If possible, discuss what you read with your colleagues or friends, or try to join e-forum. Try to working in similar topics. See how many people are working in the similar areas. Start making notes of important principles. architecture, what are the configurations, what are the methods, what are the algorithms, what are the specification, what are the devices, what are the processes they are following, how they are described, how they have discussed the contents. So you study everything thoroughly. Then what the discussion will provide? It will definitely give you the confidence about your understanding of the topic. Okay? How did you understand? It will clear the doubts. किसी को आपको पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है. जब आप इतना खुद पढ़ लेंगे, so you are more knowledgeable than your guide. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि गाइड का कोई रोल नहीं है. Because now you are focusing on this, guide will be very happy to see that my research scholar is having more knowledge. He is working so efficiently. He is able to discuss the topics which I have never thought about. So it will clear your doubts. That confidence will be in your discussion and you can proceed for the defining of the objectives. So literature survey, search the maximum contents, read, discuss, make notes. Third step is identify tentative subtopics from the contents. Again, you repeat step 3. You might go for the step 2 and then finalize the objectives and title of the research paper. So this is the procedural step in research. First, you are identifying the problem, literature review, then plan research design, how you can go for the research, determining sample size. अभी जैसे मैंने कहा कि I wanted to have the face recognition system. For whom? For 5 students for my research lab. So how much database I need to work on? Only 5. So what will be the sample size of the data? 5. Write the protocol. So what will be the protocol for my research? Procedure. Then I want to allow only 2 students, student A and student E. B, C, D won't be allowed. So this is my protocol. How I can proceed? So ethical committee approval I need to take from my boss that I want to allow these 2 students to work 24/7. Then pilot study, I have to develop that technique. I have to develop that system which will allow only student A and student E based on the face recognition system. Then I will present my work and I will analyze the results. Hypothesis testing, what I have planned here, am I getting it? Then generalization on interpretation, is it okay? Then I will go for yes, then I will go for the report writing, then it will be published. So this is how you can go for the procedural steps in your research. Now, what are the research methodology you can adopt for your own research? Quantitative research. These are the types of research: quantitative research, qualitative research, conceptual research, empirical research, descriptive research, analytical research, applied research, and fundamental research. So there are various types of research methodology. Now, which methodology you are going to apply to your problem statement? So that will depend on the topic, title, and the area and the methodology you are thinking of. Based on that, you can select the methodology here. Now let's have a look on this qualitative and quantitative. Nature of data in qualitative research. It involves non-numerical data such as text, video, audio. Now again, see the example of the face recognition system. What is it? It is only image. So text, video, image, or audio. But again, that is getting converted into data. So data is descriptive and detailed in qualitative research. But in quantitative, it involves numeric data from the beginning. Here I have generated the numerical data of the image by extracting the distance of forehead, height of forehead, नाक की लंबाई, नॉस्ट्रिल्स की चौड़ाई, आपके ओठों की चौड़ाई, आपकी ओठों की हाइट, आपकी जो चिन होती है ठुड्डी, वो वहां से लेके तो आपका फोरहेड का डिस्टेंस कितना है, फिर ईयर लोब्स, इस कान से उस कान तक आपका हॉरिजॉन्टल डिस्टेंस कितना है। तो ये सब चीजें क्या है, दीज आर द नॉन न्यूमेरिकल डेटा, बट आई हैव कन्वर्टेड इट इनटू द डेटाबेस। लेकिन यहाँ क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च में क्या है, ऑलरेडी यू हैव न्यूमेरिकल डेटा. Data is very much structured and can be measured statistically. So statistical techniques can be applied, right? Now, what are the purpose? To understand the concept, to understand the thoughts of our experiences. And we will focus why and how for decision making, not just what, where, or when. That is nothing but in quantitative research, what, where, and when. So statistical analysis will give you, it will quantify variables and generalize results from a sample to a population. Now, what are the methods? Interviews, focus groups, observations, and case study. Open-ended questions are common. Here, how you are applying the methods? You can have the surveys, you can have the experiments, you can have the methods, you can have the statistical analysis. So it is called as close-ended questionnaire. While in qualitative, it is open-ended questions. Now, analysis. Thematic analysis, content analysis, and narrative analysis. This kind of analysis we prefer in qualitative research. It is based on pattern. फेस का पैटर्न कैसा है आपका, थंब का पैटर्न कैसा है आपका, आई बॉल का पैटर्न कैसा है, थीम कैसी है आपकी, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट. वाइल इन क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च एनालिसिस, स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस, आप उसमें डिस्क्रिप्टिव पे जा सकते हैं, इन्फेरेंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स यू कैन गो एड विद दिस. You can test the hypothesis, you can measure the relationships between variables. What is the outcome? If you go for qualitative research, it provides depth and detail. It generates insights and understanding of the subject matter. In the other research, that is quantitative, what is the outcome? It provides quantifiable and reliable data. Because from the starting, you are working on numerical data. So outcome will also be based on the reliable database. So where you have applied some analytical methods to quantify it, so you can address that it is the outcome of the quantitative research. It facilitates comparisons and predictions. जहां पर आप statistical methods apply करते हैं, वहां पर आपको prediction analysis मिलता है, जहां पर आप comparison कर सकते हो आपके पुराने डेटाबेस से, और किसी रिव्यू आर्टिकल में आपको सब कुछ समझ में आए कि इसने ये टेक्निक यूज की है, you will use another statistical techniques. Your findings will be different, but it may give some inclination. So, but this kind of database have rigidity. They are because more structured and follows a predetermined research design. इसका एक systematic strategic follow करनी पड़ेगी. While in qualitative research, you will be having more flexibility. So more flexible and adaptable to changes as research progresses. So this is about the qualitative research and quantitative research. Now let's see the example of quantitative research. Already I told you, assessing the impact of a new drug is quantitative. Conduct a randomized control trial to measure the effectiveness of a new medicine compared to a already available. Now data collection, collect numerical data on patient outcomes such as symptoms, reduction rates, side effects, recovery time, how much recovery time that patient is taking. Analyze using the statistical techniques and determine the significance. Second example is market survey. So distribute a survey to 1,000 participants to quantify their preferences for different product features in smartphone. Suppose I'm Samsung company and I'm developing smartphone. I have developed one feature, but I wanted to get the feedback. So I asked my 1,000 reliable customers that I'm giving you new Samsung phone, which we are in developing stage. You use it and tell us your feedback. Based on that, either we will go for the improvement or some modification. So data collection, how the data collection will be? Structured questionnaire will be there. Multiple choice options may be there. Then they're analyzing the responses using descriptive and inferential statistics to identify trends and preferences among different demographics. So this is how we can go for the quantitative. Now, what is qualitative? So patient experiences in healthcare. That is qualitative. How? Conduct in-depth interviews with patients who have undergone a specific medical treatment to understand their experience, feelings, and satisfaction level. How the data collection will be? Transcription of interviews, thematic analysis of responses to identify common themes, challenges, and perceptions. Second example is consumer behavior. How this study will be used focus groups to explore why consumers prefer certain brands over others. अभी हम कपड़े की जो साबुन आती है वी वॉश क्लोथ्स अभी भी हम क्या बोलते रिन साबुन एरियल की साबुन आ गई काफी सारी नई नई साबुन आ गई बट दैट ब्रांड इज इन आवर माइंड वी आर यूजिंग सम अदर ब्रांड बट स्टिल वी कॉल इट एज रिन कुटा है रिन साबुन कुटा है because that brand has created that impact in the beginning in the customer's mind that we call that kind of product as Reen. So such kind of findings are there. So recording and analyzing discussions to identify key factors influencing brand loyalty, such as emotional connection, perceived quality, or personal values. Qualitative research, again, a financial analyst at a bank makes financing decisions with customers. An academic professor could use inductive research to find the best ways to propose critical thinking in philosophy to undergraduates. So what is qualitative research methodology? It uses an inductive and subjective approach. It gives the open and flexible approach for the research. It involves gathering and analyzing data to develop a theory or hypothesis. The researcher will begin with specific observations, data, and then work towards more general theories and conclusions. This research is often used when little is known about a topic or when there is no existing theory to explain the observations. Like spontaneous emission, stimulated emission in PN diode. Those who are from electronics, they will get this example. Not much data is available. Still, if you are going for some findings, so this is called as qualitative research. So data collection, data analysis, identification of themes, development of theories, and reporting of findings. This is what the inductive research is. Now, quantitative research methodology. Here, deductive research. Analyzing customer satisfaction with online shopping. One product is launched, you are getting in Instagram, you are getting in Facebook. So how the consumer behavior is there, how many of they just see it, how many of they open that website, how many of them go and order it. So based on that, psychological analysis is also there. So it begins with theory or hypothesis and seeks to test its validity through the collection and analysis of data. The researcher starts with a general theory or idea and then develops specific hypotheses based on that theory. These hypotheses are then tested through the collection of data, which is analyzed to determine whether it supports or refutes the initial theory or hypothesis. So it's a quantitative research where data is collected through structured methods such as surveys, experiments, or statistical analysis. What is the process of deductive research? Formation of research question or hypothesis, development of research design, then data collection, then data analysis, then interpretation of results. Though we are calling this as the process of deductive research, but many research areas you will have to follow such kind of procedure. So once you finalize the topic, you start working on it, You will finalize the method. So method can be modified again and again and again and again. Though you have fixed it in the beginning that I need to follow it. But what is research? Sometimes whatever you have identified as the perfect method for your research, while coming across some other review article, you may come to the conclusion, no, I should go for this particular method as well. That means you have modified what you have pre-decided. So this is what research is, always ready for the modification. Descriptive research, survey of internet usage patterns among the teenagers. Suppose I want to have the survey of internet of students of 21 years, teenagers, those who are studying, how many times they are spending for the screen, means screen time. So it incorporates surveys as well as different varieties of fact-finding investigation. This is the form of research focused on describing the prevailing state of affairs. So descriptive research is also termed as ex post facto research based on the previous one. So this research form emphasizes on factual reporting. The researcher cannot control the involved variables and can only report the details as they took place or as they are taking place. Empirical research. What is the example of empirical research? Impact of exercise on mental health among college students. This is empirical research. It involves observation and experience. It is based on data. It can churn the conclusion that can be confirmed or verified through observation. It determines proof that certain variables are affecting the human being. This kind of research can also be termed as empirical research. What is analytical research? Factors contributing to student academic success. This is the example of analytical research. What are you doing here? Researchers has to work with the data and factual information available. He has to interpret the information to undertake an acute evaluation of the data. Students' academic success. So what are the factors contributing? Might be discipline, might be hard work as a study, might be focused attitude. So these are the database or questionnaire you need to generate to get it from the data. And you know that how many students they are having the excellence in their academic performance. So you can come to the conclusion based on the database you have collected. So it uncovers some evidence that supports their present research and which makes it more authentic. It develops new ideas relating to the topic on which the research is based. From conducting meta-analysis, literary research, or scientific trials, and learning public opinion, there are many methods through which this research can be operational. Applied research. Example is development of COVID-19 vaccine. What is applied research? When a business or the society is facing with an issue that needs an immediate solution or a resolution is applied research. Whole world is facing the COVID sufferers. What are the how the lung was getting affected, how the people were dying, how the people were becoming serious. So that was the applied research. We wanted to have the immediate solution for the whole community. So that applied research is the research type that comes to the rescue. Applied research primarily makes the use of when it comes to resolving the issues, troubling our daily lives, impacting our work, health, or welfare. That is what we have faced in COVID-19. This research type is undertaken to uncover solutions for issues relating to varying sectors like education, engineering, psychology, health, or business. It's not COVID-19. I'm just putting in front of you to understand what exactly the applied research is. But there are various sectors where you can use this applied research. A research project is unfinished without a publication. You know your subject area interest, you know the application of that area, you know in that application which area you need to work on based on your knowledge base. You did your literature review. Based on that review, you have identified the research gap. Based on that research gap identification, you have written the objectives of your research, 2 to 3 objectives. Based on that objectives of your research, you have identified the methodology to be used. You have developed and applied some methods. Now, every work has been completed. Now, what is next? So, research writing. So, a research project is unfinished without a publication. So, what will be my next stage or next step is writing a research article. So, learning through actual experience. Now, how to write a research article? So, that we need to go ahead with. Sir is there, Rafi sir? Hello? Hello, Rafi sir is there? Anyone from the organizing team? Hello? Anyone from the organizing team? Participants, can you tell me, should we go ahead or we should stop and have the lunch break? I don't know what exactly the procedure is.
अपन मैम ब्रेक लेना है, थोड़ा सा ब्रेक ले सकते हैं.
अच्छा, कितने देर का ब्रेक सर?
10-15 मिनट का मैम.
ठीक है, तो हम 15 मिनट बाद मिले.
हाँ, 12:40 को मिलते
Okay,
हैं मैम.
ma'am.
ठीक है, 12:40 को मिलते. ठीक है सर. ओके, थैंक यू सर. Hello, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to have the feedback from the audience. Is there anyone who can say something about what we have discussed just now? So, or do you have any query, audience?
No, madam.
Research article.
Pardon? Okay, so should I go ahead now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You can fill out this form only once.
Pardon? Hello? So now learning through actual experience. So how to write a research article that we need to see.
Oh,
Hello? Please mute everyone. Now, what is scientific paper or scientific article? An acceptable primary scientific publication must be the first disclosure containing sufficient information to enable peers. What does it mean? So, as I told you, in funnel shape, you come from the subject interest, then topic interest in that topic, what is the research gap identification in that, what objectives you have set up for your research work. So these are nothing but you have to assess the observations, you have repeat experiments, evaluate intellectual processes. So these are the sufficient information you can go for. And therefore, scientific paper is the first publication of original research results. Peers of the author can repeat the experiment in a journal or other source available for the scientific community. The paper has been peer reviewed before publication. So you have done some research, you have applied some methods, might be machine learning algorithm, AI, whatever the methods you have planned, statistical analysis. So you have done it. So first, now once the work has been done by you as per the objectives you have set up for your research work, now it's high time for you to publish an article. Now, definitely that article will be having the database or the results and the conclusions based on the problem statement you have defined. So you need to write that article. You need to produce your conclusion. You need to analyze the results you have got. You need to compare the results, what you have got and what other researchers have done on the same database. And that writing or that write-up is nothing but a scientific paper. And that paper, once you submit, so this It can be peer reviewed before the publication. Reviewers will review the paper. Like suppose you have written some paper and you have applied only one statistical analysis and you have submitted to the conference proceedings. Now in that conference, if suppose I am the reviewer, that paper will come to me. I will check that paper. I will see that only one statistical technique has been applied by this author. So I will ask that author to either justify or use these two methods at least for the conclusion. Now this comments will be received by the author. Now it's high time for author to make the changes as per the suggestions by the reviewers. He will apply it, he will modify it, he will add that current analysis by the new method, and then again it will be submitted. Now paper is in acceptable condition and paper will be getting accepted. So what does it mean? Your guide is there to guide you. Your own knowledge is helping you. Your study is helping you to finalize the objectives. You have applied the techniques, you have applied the algorithms, you have finalized one method. Now you're coming to the conclusion of the first objective. Once it is ready, then you are sending it to the journal or the conference. Then it goes to the reviewer. Reviewer, your guide is satisfied, you are satisfied, but reviewer is more experienced. He's having some different inclination about your research. So he's giving some good idea to apply some another technique. So directly or indirectly, what are you doing? You are enhancing your research work with the suggestion of the reviewer. And that is what the expectation is. And you are modifying your paper and again it is getting submitted for the publication. So what are the ingredients of good science paper? Novelty of research, comprehensive coverage of relevant literature, good analysis, that is including the statistical analysis as well, and thought-provoking discussion, means write-up for the thought-provoking discussion. And for the conference paper, even good organization, appropriate use of figures and tables, the length nowadays in conference paper, hardly 2 pages they are asking in IEEE. So you need to cut short something. So you need to add only your research work. So your methodology, your tools, your techniques, which you are applying on the database and writing to entertain the audience. So these are the ingredients of good science paper. Now, what are the contents you need to have as a research article? So first is the research title, the name of authors and their affiliation. Suppose the research title is importance of research article. This is a review article, suppose I'm writing. So what is the name of the author? So I will write my name, Dr. Abhilasha Mishra. So where I am getting affiliated, I am affiliated to MIT, which comes under Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. So I will mention that as affiliation. Now the sequence of author in the research article. Suppose I am having 3 authors or 4 authors. So first author is the main author who has written the paper with the help of other 3 authors. And the last author might be the corresponding author. And after writing the research title and name of the authors, there will be abstract. After that abstract, it is 6 to 7 lines. Then you have to write the introduction. In that introduction, you will write the storyline of your research work based on the facts and figures. And then log diagram of the proposed model. You can discuss analytical model of the proposed model. What are the experimentation you have carried out? What are the simulation results you have received? Representing the result. After that, you may compare what results you have got from the technique you have used. You can analyze it. You can have the descriptive note on it. And then you will write the conclusion of your research work. After that conclusion, what are the references you have referred for writing this particular paper? So you have to mention that. So there will be a format Either it is a journal or a conference. So writing a reference, there will be a format. You need to follow that format. So try to understand whether it is a conference paper or whether it is the research paper in journal. At least for journal, at least 25 to 30 references should be there. And as nowadays conference, due to the limitation of the space on websites, the papers are getting reduced for 2 pages, at least in IEEE I'm talking about. So in that case, the reference is 3, 4, but that should be current references which you are using in your script. That will be advisable. Then disclosure of sponsoring agency, preprint, reprint permission if you need any. You need to have the plagiarism check. Now, what is plagiarism check? Whether you are copying, suppose I'm writing a paper on face recognition system and you also have written the face recognition system and you have used another technology method, or I'm using another method. So I like the way you have written one paragraph. I will just copy that paragraph and paste it in my paper. When it will go for plagiarism check, so that software will identify this is the copy paste. What does it mean? I have adopted the unethical practice, which is not acceptable. That's why I'm telling you, whatever you do in your personal life, in your behavior, in your attitude, in work, in your write-up, you should always prefer to have ethical working. So now as I have copy pasted, there will be a plagiarism. Plagiarism software will identify it is the copy paste. So how much percentage will be there? It may exceed 30%, 40%. So how much plagiarism check is it should be reduced up to 7 to 8% is acceptable. Above that, you have to modify the script. You have to rewrite the script. You can give the reference that I have copied it from that author. Suppose in reference list, it is number 2. So you can mention it is 2. But you need to modify that sentence. It should not be copy paste. So be careful while writing the paper. Now, selection of appropriate journal is highly appreciable because you know which kind of work you have done. So if you are confident enough that it is getting selected by SCI journal or Scopus Index journal, or is it a conference submission? So you need to decide and take the decision. And based on you format the your research paper as per the journal guideline or conference guideline. Addressing queries of the reviewers. Once it is submitted, reviewer will review your paper and he will give some suggestions. So response sheet will be there, or you are supposed to write a letter, or you will supposed to write a rebuttal letter. Sometimes some reviewers, they are so strict. They don't like your write-up and they write denial due to the plagiarism. Now you need to address that query generated by that reviewer. So you correct the plagiarism, you reduce it to 6 to 7%, and then you write a rebuttal letter. Why the denial was there and what actions you have taken, and out of that actions, what modifications you have incorporated in your article that you need to mention. And then again, you need to send it to that reviewer. Once that reviewer accepts your explanation, then it might be accepted from that reviewer. So you may receive the acceptance of research article and then it will go for the publication. So these are the steps of research article contents. Now, what is a research article? The title and the abstract are the most important parts of research. The title page. So what you need to think about the title? It should have the fewest word that can describe the content of the paper. Indexing and abstracting depends on the title. Title should not contain abbreviation. Be careful. It should not be containing abbreviation. It should not contain chemical formulas. It should not contain proprietary names or ownership names. Research title is an abstract of abstract. So key points you need to write in abstract, which should include subject of research, type of research, review, experimental, analytical, case study. जो भी आपने किया है as a research, you need to write it in brief and very short. Methods, process, techniques which you have incorporated in your research work that needs to be mentioned in the abstract. And parameters and specifications which you have analyzed and studied and the outcomes that you need to mention in the abstract. So hardly 6 to 7 lines you need to write in this. So abstract, as I told you, is a short summary, 6 to 7 sentences in words, till 250 words you can write. Well-written abstract serves multiple purposes. Essence of research paper. Abstract is the essence of research paper, right? So जैसे वो कहते हैं ना कि आपकी पर्सनालिटी आपको देखते साथ समझ में आ जाता है कि आपका एटीट्यूड, आपका बिहेवियर, आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज, इस पे से एक अंदाज सामने वाले को आ जाता है. In the same way, if a person reads the abstract, title and the abstract, it will come to know कि कितने पोटेंशियल का आपका राइटअप है, whether it's a good paper or the best paper. So you need to maintain it. So it is the essence of research paper. An abstract prepares readers to follow the detailed information, analysis and arguments in the full paper. Later, an abstract help readers remember key points from your paper. Like if I'm interested in image processing and in face recognition system in which I'm applying some machine algorithm, that is neural network. So if suppose I'm working for some another database in which I want to use neural network. So I can read this paper because from that abstract I'm getting the information that this is based on the neural network. So I can apply or I can refer this paper for my new research work. So abstract should be short, but give the overall idea about what was done, what you have found out. What are the main conclusions? This needs to be added in the abstract. The context or background information for your research, the general topic under study, the specific topic of your research that needs to be added. Statement of the problem. Hello. So what is already known about this question or the previous research has done that needs to be covered. The main reason, the exigency, the rationale, the goals for the research. Why is that topic worth examining? Are you filling a gap in previous research? Resolving a dispute within the literature in your field? Research or analytical methods? Main findings, results and arguments? The significance or implications of your findings or arguments that needs to be highlighted. Now, what is introduction? Introduction to a research paper is where you set up your topic and approach for the reader. It present your topic and get the reader interested. Means you need to write in such a way that while reading, the reader should get some interest. Provide background or summarize the existing research. So he or she will come to know what is the summary of the current stage of the research. Describe the research problem and mention the problem statement. And then give an overview of the paper's structure, how you have planned, how you have developed, and what are the contents of your paper. So in introduction, introduce your topic, describe the background, that is literature survey. In short, establish your research problem addressed to the objective, specify your objective to the point, describe methodologies you have used, map out your paper, how the process of explanation in further sections of the paper, and discuss the result. So that is what is expected. Then understanding experimentation and simulation process. If you have used simulation, if you are using some experimentation, so how that can be presented is very important. So write some good way of procedure so that it will appeal a reader to read it and understand it in a very systematic and strategic way. Now, understanding experimentation or simulation process. The term modeling and simulation are extensively used in technological context. Modeling is defined. Now, what is modeling? Modeling is defined as creating physical, mathematical, or logical representation of a process or product or service where the implementation of the presentation is termed as simulation. Modeling and simulation allow designer to test design consideration or specifications with the potential users before the formal process, product or service is launched. सपोज एक टेक्निक आपने यूज की है, आपने उसको मॉडलिंग की है एक सिस्टम की, आपने कोई टेक्निक सिमुलेशन उसमें यूज की है, आप मॉडलिंग भी कर रहे हैं, सिमुलेशन भी कर रहे हैं, तो एक्चुअल लॉन्च करने के पहले की जो प्रोसीजर दैट यू हैव डन, सो यू कैन राइट इट ब्रीफली. Similarly, virtual models are used to test digital products and services to understand user experience during a simulation. You can also use it, you can mention it in your research article. Additionally, the virtual models help shorten the design and test cycle. If you are using virtual models, so there is no need to write the lengthy explanation about the write-up. So you can cut short and you can make it a brief summary while mentioning the design and test cycles. It also gives the researcher immediate feedback to alter the model and retest it quickly. Now, what are the types of simulation? So, discrete simulation models, continuous simulation models, static simulation models, dynamic simulation models, deterministic simulation models, and stochastic simulation models. So, based on the content, based on the topic, based on the objectives, which simulation is suitable for your research work, that you need to decide. Or otherwise, while doing the literature survey, you will get the information regarding this, that other authors have used which kind of simulation model. So either you can go for that, or to have the novel work, you can use some another simulation model also. So that depends on your knowledge about that particular subject. Now, representing result. It's very important to represent. Now, if you read, suppose 5 papers, while reading, you will say that, no, this paper is not okay, this paper. You have read all the 5 papers. Then suddenly you will analyze which paper is the best paper. Suppose you find that 3rd paper was the best paper. Again, you will come, you will open that paper, you will try to read it, and you need to identify why you are thinking that this paper is the best paper out of these 5. You will find that it is the right type of chart has been included. Colors, labels, and legends are good enough. The graph is self-explanatory, easy to understand. The titles, captions, and annotations have been highlighted. Key insights have been given very clearly. Messages or the information regarding charts and graphs has mentioned as to the point. So these kind of presentation is considered as the best presentation. Like if suppose you are applying, suppose the for medical engineering, if suppose I am working on lung cancer, so there is some websites where the database images are available. Now, me and my colleague both are working on lung cancer. I have downloaded 10 images. She has also downloaded 10 images. She has applied some other technique on that 10 images to identify the cancer. And I have also applied some other technique. Now, what I will do, I will read her paper. I will identify that she has also downloaded from that BIT MIH database. She has used 10 database. She has applied some other technique. My technique is different. As database is same, I can compare the results of both the techniques. And if I find that she has achieved 91% accuracy and I am achieving 95% accuracy. So which technique is the best technique? because problem statement is same. It was lung cancer identification. Database is also same. Only two different techniques have been applied. One by some another author, one by me. So it's high time for me to analyze this by reading the articles, comparing the articles, and then I will come to the conclusion that I need to make the comparative analysis of the results by the model or the technique used by that my colleague and by me. And then I can conclude that the method which I have used is more appropriate as it is giving the 95% accuracy. So comparative analysis of the work is highly appreciable. Now, these are the examples how you can put up your work in line chart. If you want to go, it's a 2 variable, or otherwise bar charts. If you are comfortable horizontally or vertically, again, it is a 2 variable. Now you can put up the pie chart. So circular representation is there. So you can also add this, or a reprint permission that mention the source. Like, see, my colleague, as I told you, my colleague has also worked in lung cancer. She has she has developed one or formulated one figure, modified it, and by her name only she has published. Now I want to utilize the same figure, but in plagiarism check, it won't be allowed. So what I need to do? If I'm using that figure, if I'm using that table, if I'm using that data from another research article, I need to mention it honestly. And I should mention it in my references also. Suppose it is the reference 29, I should mention that author so and so in the bracket 29 article, this is the source of the table. So find the related paper like on Science Direct or IEEE Explore. There is option to take the copyright permission, fill the form to take copyright permission of the related figures or contents, then you can use it. And you will get the, see, it happens, suppose I published one paper and I have copied one figure which is not identified by any reviewer or any plagiarism check, and it has been published. But that I have copied from some author, suppose author A. Now that author again come across my paper and he noticed that this particular image is my publication and she has copied it and she has not mentioned the source. She can take the objection on my literature, on my paper. And what it will imply? It will imply that I was following unethical practices. IEEE journal, Scopus Index journal may block me, may delete my all publications as the counter action due to the plagiarism, due to the copying, due to not mentioning the source. So I need to be very, very careful about my image, my work, my ethical practices, so that I should not face such kind of threats in future. Now, plagiarism check, most important step before we submit the papers for this is plagiarism check. There are 2-3 softwares mostly used are Turnitin or Urkund. And as I told you, nowadays plagiarism is a serious crime. So be careful for that. Response letter you need to write to the reviewer or rebuttal letter. The response letter is an author's chance to directly reply to the reviewer, and you need to explain it. So these are the Web of Science, Science Index journals, Scopus Index journal finders, where you will get the list of the journals. Now, learning through actual experience. These are the experiences of my research scholars. So they have written the research article, they have prepared it, they have submitted it, and they have received some queries from the reviewers, and how they have addressed to these queries. So these are the experiences of my research scholars I am sharing with you. So this, I don't want to disclose their name because it was the beginning of their research and they were not good enough in writing. So this was the journey to our first journal paper. It was started with building a review paper, a paper with modeling and experimentation. They have shared it with guide, that's me, for review and comments. Now, what are the comments? So first manuscript 1, review paper. What comments I have given to my research scholar? It needs improvement. Write short name of the title of the paper. Take a reprint permission to use the figures and check plagiarism. That is the must. If you are using figure, give the source. Make some table with references to compare the previous work. It gives good inclination to the readers to know what work you have done and which kind of what kind of accuracy level you have achieved. Reference style need to write properly as per the format. Remove the website link. Cite only standard SCI journals. So in your references, use SCI and Scopus indexed journals and refer that only. Means you can refer many, but at least many journals which you are listing as a references, it should be from SCI or Scopus indexed. Read some review paper and write conclusion part of paper. I was not satisfied with the conclusion. So instead of telling him how to write, I had given one suggestion. If you are writing a paper on some topic, collect the review articles 4-5. Read the conclusion, how different authors have written the conclusion. That will give you a good inclination how to write the conclusion for your own work. And you will be strong enough to write that conclusion. On the second manuscript, which was based on the experimentation, what are the guide's comments? Don't put more tables in paper. Write some more analysis part of results. Technical reasons behind this phenomena need to be added. These results are well known. Highlight your contribution. See, writing of the paper is okay, but if you are not able to highlight what you are contributing as a researcher, then it's of no use. So you have to highlight it in a systematic way and you have to put up your advancement in results. Overall good results were added. I asked him to write a good paper. I will suggest you appropriate SCI journal for fast publications. That was the suggestion I had given. Now highlight your contribution and advancement in results. Go through the review process carefully. Identify the gaps in research done so far. Address those gaps in your manuscript as your contribution and advancement. You have to add it. And in communication system like transmitter design, channel modeling, receiver design. So what are your contributions? You mentioned that. That is what I asked that fellow. Review and comments on third manuscript. I have identified some major corrections and issues in papers. There were huge grammatical mistakes. So you need to be very careful about the grammatical mistakes. Figures are directly copied from internet sources. Avoid to use existing images or figures. You can use Paint, you can use PPT to draw by yourself. So first effort you should do by yourself. And if it is very complicated, you're not able to do it, in that case, you can take it and put from where you are using that figure. References were not appropriate. So it was very poor, not updated, and they were not relevant as well. Paper किसी और चीज का था और references किसी और चीज के. So you need to be very careful about that. And after that, I asked him to go for the plagiarism check. So grammatical mistakes, you need to be very careful. Plagiarism. So what is the outcome of this? Avoid grammatical mistakes. Ensure quality of English language suitable for specific journal. I tell you, if you read 20 to 30 papers and you make your own notes, you will be strong enough to write a research paper. And I hope those who are listening to me they will start working in the same is quite better for readers. References are also updated. You may communicate the paper in relevant journal. Overall content is good for optical engineering. That has worked in optical communication. So I asked him to now go ahead for submitting the paper in optical engineering. Right? So you may proceed for submission. These are my suggestions as a guide. Now, finding the suitable journal, being a researcher, you can search many papers, many journals, IEEE publications, elsewhere, Springer, and UGC care list. So find suitable journal for your research article. So you can consult with your guide and you can finalize in which journal you need to submit it. So now Web of Science, Science Citation Index Journal, Science Expanded SCI Journal, Scopus are the most reputed journal indexing services after IEEE. All are added to the strict evaluation process. So Scopus is an abstracting and citation database, covers 25,000 journals and database owned by elsewhere. SCI Mego provides the journal rankings and supplied by the Scopus. UGC care list, other indexing also you can get. So while selecting an appropriate journal, kindly pay attention to the important journal matrix as follows. Site score is important, impact factor is important, acceptance rate, you need to time to time for the publication. Your publication fees is there is a good print find there is a publication. So you show the not fees journals who are not for the fees. Publication frequency also matters a lot in submitting the paper, whether it is a monthly paper, quarterly, and minimum research time is 3 years. So that's why you need to take the decision accordingly for the selection of the submission of journal. Quartile of journals, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, they are highly journals and highly reputed journals. Your work should be genuine and original. It is getting accepted in Q2 journals. So, journal and decide which in one journal. There were 3 evaluators, reviewers. What are the suggestions or comments from there? Reviewer 1, evaluation appropriateness for the submission. He has given poor, second has given satisfactory, and third has given no comment. Quality of writing by 1 is poor, by second satisfactory, third is also satisfactory. So it's little average. Clarity is poor. Here he has written clarity is good and clarity is satisfactory. Don't get nervous if you see such kind of poor kind of responses from the reviewer. 2 has given good responses, so there are high chances to go for to get the acceptance of your paper. Only you need to satisfy the queries put up by them. Now, consciousness is good. He doesn't want to comment. Reference to literature satisfactory. He has given no comment. Relevance of figures is good. Again, he has given the no comment. Originality is good. He has said poor. Significance of results good. He has said marginal. Technical accuracy of results is good. Technical accuracy of results is marginal. Then rigor is good. It's marginal. Detail level of procedure is good. Here it is marginal. And then substantiation of conclusion. So what is the substantiation of conclusion? It is satisfactory and marginal. So if you satisfy the queries put up by the reviewers or modify it accordingly, there are high chances to get the acceptance. So author should spend additional time to prepare the journal version. References are not mentioned in text. Also, if it is mentioned out of the numerical order. Like I tried to find references 12, but was not able to find. 12 नंबर दिया हुआ है आपके थ्योरी में जहां आपने टेक्स्ट में एक्सप्लेन किया, but I am not able to get the reference 12 related to that. So it's a wrong thing. So you need to incorporate good practices, good method, good strategy. Starting से ही अगर आप ये सब चीजें लेके आप पेपर लिखते, so you will be a good writer and good researcher. So wrong abbreviations or incomplete is not acceptable. Always there is improvement cycle. आपका first paper, if it is not accepted, try to find out. So first make a manuscript, scrutinize, discuss the manuscript with others, with your guide or with your colleagues or the experienced faculties you will find nearby you. Revise it, check the language and submit it, right? So this is how you can go for the improvement. Now this is not the end of the journey. Start your work on next research article, whether you are a failure or a successor. But again, you need to start work. So learning continues always. Thank you for your patience listening. If you have any query, you can ask me. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice there were hands raised. Hello.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have concluded my session. I just wanted to have the feedback from the audience. I don't know whether I am audible or not.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. Because I have get more insights of the different aspect of writing a research paper actually. So, ma'am, one question I have: could you suggest me one of the base plagiarism software which will help us to before submitting the research paper to the journal, we can just check it, and if there is any further corrections required, then we can do so. So could you suggest some softwares regarding
Actually, yes, Turnitin is one software and Urkund. So in Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, they are preferring Urkund. So you can get Urkund software, plagiarism software there. And Turnitin is also there. So you need to check it if it is available to the institutes you are associated with.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, is there any kind of free software? Because Turnitin software is very much costly software.
No, there is a threat in open softwares are there, but there is that your whole data will be captured by them. So if your research work is very original and novel, having novelty, so in that case you need to maintain the secrecy also. I hope you understand. So in that case, if you go for Turnitin or the softwares having license, that will be much better.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Is there any other question? I hope there are no questions. So thank you, everyone. I will be more happy if you think as a faculty to move ahead for the research work. And if anybody out of you need any kind of guidance from me, so I'm always available to you.
Ma'am, can
Thank
you
you.
share your email ID in the chat bot? Then it will be helpful us for asking questions.
1 minute actually. 1 minute. Yes, this is my email ID. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I request rule number 34, Shraddha ma'am, please propose the vote of thanks and conclude the session.
Yes, ma'am. UGC Malaviya Mission, Teacher Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University organized 13 Faculty Induction Program. या ऑनलाईन कार्यक्रमानिमित्त मला आभार प्रदर्शनाची संधी दिली त्याबद्दल मी आभार व्यक्त करते. तसेच आज सकाळच्या सत्रामध्ये आपल्याला लाभलेल्या डॉक्टर अभिलाषा मिश्रा मॅडम यांनी आपल्याला वैज्ञानिक ज्ञानाच्या प्रगतीमध्ये संशोधन लेखाची गंभीर भूमिका यावर छान मार्गदर्शन केले. प्राध्यापकांना संशोधनाचे महत्त्व काय आहे हे व्यवस्थितपणे समजावून सांगितले. संशोधन लेख कसे लिहायचे, कोणते घटक वापरायचे याविषयी देखील सखोल माहिती दिली. त्याबद्दल मी सर्वांच्या वतीने त्यांचे खूप खूप आभार मानते. तसेच हा कार्यक्रम ज्यांनी आयोजित केला असे डॉक्टर एस पाटील सर, डॉक्टर अब्दुल रफी सर, अमोल मदन सर, गौरव जाधव सर या सर्वांमुळे हा फॅकल्टी इंडक्शन कार्यक्रम व्यवस्थितपणे पार पाडण्यासाठी त्यांचा मोलाचा वाटा आहे. म्हणून मी सर्वांच्या वतीने तुमचे मनापासून खूप खूप आभार मानते. तसेच तांत्रिकदृष्ट्या जुळलेल्या सर्व आयोजकांचे देखील खूप आभार मानते. तसेच आभासी पद्धतीने उपस्थित असलेल्या माझ्या सर्व सहकाऱ्यांचे सुद्धा मी आभार मानते. तसेच आयोजकांच्या वतीने हे सेशन येथे संपले असे मी जाहीर करते. धन्यवाद मॅडम.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Can we leave the meeting now?
Neil madam, मीटिंग से लीव हो जाए।
It's Mama.